Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Thursday, February the 13th. We got 5 games tonight, guys. This is our last slate before the All-Star break, so after tonight, there are no NBA games until Wednesday of next week, and I think on Wednesday there's only one game, so actually, our next full slate of games will be on Thursday of next week, so we're basically going to have a week off after today. We'll have like the All-Star game stuff this weekend, the Rising Stars game, the All-Star game, but I'm not going to be doing any props for that stuff. I'm just going to take the week off, and I'll come back next Wednesday/Thursday whenever there's games back on. But we got one more slate to tackle here for Thursday, 5 games. So let's go ahead and break down some props I'm liking, guys. I got 2 plays I'm going to share in this video. Recording this video on Thursday morning, so we do have a good amount of props available. There weren't really any props up last night when I wanted to make the video, so I figured I'd just wait till the morning of to do the video. But before we do talk through these 2 plays, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they do help you out, make sure to hit that like button down below. Appreciate the likes as always, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, if you're new to Prizepicks, be sure to go sign up for Prizepicks and use promo code NOAH. When you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So be sure to check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. And also, I do want to shout out Sleeper. We do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can go sign up for Sleeper. Use promo code NOAH over on Sleeper. And when you play $5, you'll get $55 worth of free lineups. So this is a cool promo that Sleeper's doing. It's a promo that you don't really have to put in a bunch of money to get your free lineups. You can just put in 10, 15, 20 bucks, still get $55 worth of free lineups when you play a $5 lineup. So this is definitely a promo you guys should be taking advantage of over on Sleeper. And to get access to this, again, you sign up and use promo code NOAH. You can download the Sleeper app either on the App Store if you have an iPhone or the Google Play Store if you have an Android. So they have they have an app for both. But definitely check out Sleeper, guys, and make sure to use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up. But let's talk through some plays, guys. I'm looking for Thursday now. I do want to recap our plays from Wednesday's video before we talk through our plays for Thursday. So we gave out 3 picks on Wednesday. We hit 2 of our 3 plays. Unfortunately, we did miss one, and the one that lost, technically lost by the hook, if you want to say that. We took Steph Curry over 4.5 3-pointers made, and he had 4 3-pointers made. He shot terribly from 3. He shot like 4 for 13, I think. Go figure, the day I take Steph Curry's over in threes, probably the greatest 3-point shooter ever, that's the day that he shoots 4 for 13. That's just how it goes sometimes. But we still hit 2 of our 3 plays yesterday. Hopefully you guys were able to make a little bit of money. Let's see if we can get a 2-0 sweep here on this slate for Thursday. Close out the first half of the NBA season on the right note. So we got 2 picks for today, guys. Both the props that I do like for today are going to be fantasy score props. So if you guys don't know what fantasy score is on Prizepicks, it's really self-explanatory. It's just a fantasy point scoring system, and you can actually click scoring chart, scroll down, and you can see how fantasy points are calculated. Very self-explanatory. Each point is 1 point. Each rebound a player gets is 1.2 points. Each assist they get is 1.5 points. Every block they get is 3 points. Every steal they get is 3 points. And then if they have a turnover, they lose a point. So if you've ever played daily fantasy before, if you ever played DFS on FanDuel, it's the same scoring system that FanDuel uses. But there's 2 fantasy score props I do like for this slate today. The first one that I like is CJ McCollum for more than 32.5 fantasy scores. So the Pelicans are on a back-to-back. Every team's on a back-to-back today because every team played yesterday. So all the teams that played today, also played yesterday. And right now, we don't have the Pelicans injury report yet. We're probably not going to get their injury report until later this afternoon. I think there's a very good chance Zion Williamson does not play today. It's the second night of a back-to-back, like I said. Zion has been resting back-to-backs pretty much all season. I don't think Zion's played a back-to-back yet this season. Maybe because they're going to have a week off after today. Maybe they just say, you know what, Zion, go out there and play, and then you'll have a week off after today. But I still think there's a pretty good chance Zion doesn't play today. And if Zion is out, we're going to see CJ McCollum have a really big role. Now, CJ McCollum has already had a bigger role lately because the Pelicans are out. They're without Brandon Ingram. He's no longer on the team. DeJounte Murray is out for the season. And if you look at this season with both Brandon Ingram and DeJounte Murray off the floor, CJ McCollum has been very productive. He's averaged 1.15 fantasy points per minute, And if you take Zion off the floor as well, CJ McCollum averages 1.22 fantasy points per minute without Zion, Ingram, and Murray. So McCollum has definitely seen a nice spike in his production with those guys off the floor. He just picks up more usage, just going to have the ball in his hands more. He probably gets a few more assists as well. There's probably a lot of reasons why his fantasy points per minute go up without Ingram and without Murray. And I would think they would go up even more if Zion is out here as well. But we know we're going to get pretty good minutes from CJ McCollum as long as the game's competitive. The Pelicans are playing at home here. I think that makes it a little bit more likely this game is close. It's an 8-point spread right now. And honestly, that 8-point spread kind of shows me that Zion is not going to play, because I want to say last night it was like a 6-point spread between these two teams. So it's almost like the books are kind of expecting Zion to be out here. But even if this game, as long as the game is remotely close, like as long as it's not like a 30-point blowout, if it's within like 10 to 15 points, we're still going to get full minutes from CJ McCollum. And typically CJ McCollum in competitive games plays around like 33 to 34 minutes. Now, last night he only played 30 and a half minutes, but the night before that, 33 against Denver was a blowout, so he only played 27. But then he played 35 the game before that, which was competitive. He played 34 against Boston. That game was competitive. 36 against Dallas. 36 against Toronto. So you can see that in competitive games, McCollum typically plays between like 33 to 36 minutes. I would expect him to play about 33, 34 minutes here. He's a guy who averages over a fantasy point per minute, and his fantasy points per minute should be even better here in this spot if Zion does wind up resting this game. And for what it's worth, if you want to factor it in, these two teams have already played 3 times this season, and CJ McCollum's been pretty good in those 3 games. So he had 42.1 fantasy points, 48.7. Last night did struggle against Sacramento, only had 20.1 fantasy points. But I would expect a bounce back game here for McCollum, and I would definitely expect a big role for him, especially if we do get no Zion. And also something that I noticed is that CJ McCollum, his PRA line is currently set at 30.5. It's pretty rare to see only a 2-point difference between a player's fantasy score and their PRA. Typically the fantasy score line is going to be like at least like 3-4 points higher. Sometimes it'll be more than that, depending on if it's a player that gets a lot of blocks and steals. CJ McCollum, not really a player that gets a lot of blocks and steals, but he's also not a guy that turns the ball over too much. I mean, he's only averaging this season in terms of turnover. He's only averaging like 2 turnovers per game. And obviously, like with assists, you still get 1.5 points for assist. So like let's say a player gets 4 assists, that's still worth 6 fantasy points because it's 1.5 for each assist. So like there's ways that McCollum only has like 26, 27 PRA in this game, but still goes over fantasy score. And if he comes close to going over PRA, or if he does go over this PRA line, I think he's very likely to go over this fantasy score line. So I like fantasy score the most here for CJ McCollum. Just think this line's too low. I think it could get even better as well if Zion winds up resting. And then the other prop that I like to pair with that, another fantasy score, we're going to take Chet Holmgren for more than 30.5 fantasy scores. So we've seen Chet play 2 games now since coming back from injury. He played 22 minutes, I believe, in the game against Toronto. I'm going to pull that up real quick. Yeah, against Toronto, he played 22 minutes, had 28.5 fantasy score in that game, so just barely went under. In that game, he had 4 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 4 blocks, and then 1 turnover. And then last game against the Pelicans, he played 25 minutes, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 5 blocks, 2 turnovers. So Chet Holmgren has been very productive this season when he's been on the floor. Now, he's only played 12 games total this season because he's been injured a lot. But since he's come back from injury, he's been very productive. You can see based off his fantasy score, he's been putting up good games even in limited minutes. And it is worth noting that Chet did play 25 minutes last game. He got no minutes in the fourth quarter. If you look at the rotations, none of the OKC starters played in the fourth quarter last game, of that game, I should say. Not last game, because last game was against Miami. That was last night. Chet rested their game last night, so he should be well rested for this one. But in the last game that Chet played on February 10th against the Pelicans, none of the OKC starters played in that game. Chet still played 25 minutes, even without getting any minutes in the fourth quarter. Now, if the game was competitive, would they have put Chet back out there in the fourth quarter? I think they probably would have. Like, I don't think it was planned for Chet to only play 25 minutes and then just sit him the rest of the game. I think it's just he didn't get any fourth quarter minutes because the game wasn't competitive. Well, now we have a game against the Timberwolves that should be competitive. This game has a 7-point spread. Minnesota's playing at home, so I think Minnesota playing at home makes it a little bit more likely they're able to keep this game close. And if we're going to get like 26 to 28 minutes from Chet, which I think we will here, again, he played 25 minutes last game without getting any fourth quarter minutes. If we get 26 to 28 minutes, I think he's got a pretty good chance of going over 30.5 fantasy score. Chet Holmgren's one of these guys that can do everything when he's on the floor. He can score, he can rebound. He also can get a lot of steals and blocks, and those steals and blocks are huge for fantasy score because you get 3 points for each one of those. And through their 2 games since he's come back from injury, Chet has had 6 steals and blocks in 2 games. Like, he's just been racking up a ton of stocks lately. I know the matchup against Minnesota is probably not the best, but I think this line on 30.5 is just a little bit too low on Chet if we assume he's playing close to his full minutes here, which I think he might if this game is competitive. Their 2 games that he's played in were both blowouts. He got subbed out like 4 minutes early in this game against Toronto because it was a blowout, and then last game he played against the Pelicans, again, didn't get any fourth quarter minutes. None of the starters played in the fourth quarter because that game was a blowout as well. Against a good Minnesota team, this game should be competitive, which makes me think we're going to get 26, 28 minutes here from Chet. And if that's the case, more than 30.5 fantasy score looks pretty good to me. Chet this season, in the 12 games he's played, he is over this line in 8 out of 10 games with at least 22 minutes. There was one game this season where he only played like 5 minutes because I think that was the game he got injured. And there was another game he only played 18 minutes, I think, for foul trouble. But yeah, he's played at least 22 minutes in 10 games this season. He's over this line in 8 out of those 10. You give me upper 20s minutes from Chet, again, I like him for more than 30.5 fantasy score. So we're going to roll with these 2 props, guys, as our 2 plays for this slate on Thursday, guys. It's our last slate before the All-Star break. Kind of bittersweet. The last slate before the All-Star breaks, it's always a time to, you get to enjoy the break. You get to enjoy, time off from just sweating props out every day. I'm probably not going to be playing anything during the break. I know there will be other sports on, like NHL and PGA and all this other stuff, college sports. I just usually try and take some time off because I do this every day. I've been doing this every single day for the last, I started playing DFS in 2016. I've been doing this for like almost 10 years, and I've been playing on Prizepicks for like 5 years now. So I would say I've got a lot of hours under my belt. So it's always nice to kind of take a little bit of a break. I'll be looking forward to the break. I'll enjoy some time off, and then we'll be back probably next Wednesday. I know there's only one game next Wednesday, so I don't exactly know if I'm going to do a video for that one game. If not, I'll definitely be back on Thursday when there's a full slate of games. But yeah, guys, we got one more slate for the break. Let's see if we can get a win here. 2 plays for this slate. CJ McCollum more than 32.5 fantasy score, and Chet Holmgren more than 30.5 fantasy score. If you guys are telling me, let's go 2-0 here. Let's win some money on this 5-game slate tonight. But good luck as always, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you guys hit that like button down below if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos. Hit that subscribe button as well. If you guys are new to the channel, if you don't have an account on Prizepicks, use promo code NOAH when you do. And when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, place your first lineup. You'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account when you sign up with code NOAH. But that's all that I got for tonight, guys. Good luck. See you guys next week when the All-Star break ends. Hope you guys all make some money tonight. Enjoy the break, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.